Hi, I'm James Beckwith. My law firm is Beckwith Legal PLLC, and my practice is in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I have been practicing for just shy of 4 years. The challenges I faced, which led me to hire remote legal staff from Remote Legal Staff, were that I was doing everything on my own. I had my own systems. I was doing the administrative work. I was doing the accounting. I was doing the legal work, and I was doing the intake. And I really just needed somebody to come on and help me manage my practice, do administrative work, pick up the phones, answer emails, get in touch with opposing counsel, manage my calendar, and also to help me manage my books and my cases. And Remote Legal Staff has definitely been a huge help with all of those things. My initial apprehensions with hiring someone from Remote Legal Staff or any remote legal staff for that matter is just not having someone present at all times. I had some slight apprehensions with possibly hiring someone from overseas, that there may be a language barrier or even a time difference that would affect our schedules from running concurrently and managing our caseload. Remote Legal Staff helped alleviate my apprehensions by assuring me that it would not be an issue, and also during my initial interviews with the different candidates provided from Remote Legal Staff, I asked those questions. I brought up my concerns, my apprehensions, and every single person that I spoke to assured me that it would not be a problem. They were free to work around my schedule and work on my timeline in my time frames. And just upon speaking to them, any apprehensions of any language barrier just completely disappeared. Everybody was speaking perfectly good English, and also I was able to take advantage of some of the staff that I hired speaking these other languages. They could also now discuss certain matters and translate for my clients who did not speak English and spoke their native language as well. So I initially began my search looking for someone to help me, and I decided to hire someone remotely because it seemed to be the best option for me. And I came across Remote Legal Staff just from a Google search, and I came across some other companies as well. And I initially started a few conversations here and there, but I ended up working with Remote Legal Staff because they really stood out against the other companies. Just simply a matter of customer service, responding to me promptly and efficiently, and clear communication the whole way through assured me that all my needs would be met, and also their price was much more affordable than some of the other companies as well. Some of the specific tasks and projects that the Remote Legal Staff has helped me with, really a wide range of different tasks. I initially hired one person to come on as an assistant where I needed help managing my calendar, making phone calls, picking up the phone from clients, doing intake, and also helping me manage my email, and really helping me with the administrative portion of things, so that I could focus on the parts of my job that made income into my firm, and I could delegate those tasks to somebody else to really open up my calendar so that we could make some money. Those initial tasks ended up developing. The person that I hired was phenomenal and definitely overqualified for the job of assistant. And so he has now fallen into more of a paralegal case manager role. But realistically, he manages everything from client intake, phone calls, emails, my calendar, updates on cases, some legal research, and drafting documents, and anywhere in between. So the staff that I have hired, one of the things I wanted them to do was to become proficient with the different technology and software that I use here at my law firm. Right away, they picked it up very easily. The software that I use, the billing software that I use, the case management software, email, very easily to be trained, and they picked it up with no problem. And now I would say that they're experts in any matter. The most valuable aspects of using Remote Legal Staff has by far been the candidates and the hires. For me in particular, It has been their willingness to learn, and they really strive to do a good job. They want to do a good job, and they want to learn, and they want to make sure that I am happy with what they're doing. And every step of the way, we check on things, we develop cases together, we plan, and it's really just been great. I have no complaints, and I really owe so much to Remote Legal Staff for providing such phenomenal candidates. If there's anything I can say to another lawyer who is considering hiring Remote Legal Staff through Remote Legal Staff, is just to do it. You won't regret it. I have definitely benefited from it. It's well worth it, and the quality of work that comes with it, the quality of the candidates, everything has just really been great. I think you're wasting your time going anywhere else. The price is right. The quality is great. It's phenomenal. If there's ever any issues or concerns or anything, Remote Legal Staff itself is happy to reach out to you, and you can reach out to them, and you can engage in discussions, and everything gets a prompt response, and it's really just been an overall wonderful experience. The onboarding process with Remote Legal Staff was very transparent the whole way through. I reached out, I said, here's what I'm looking for. They proposed multiple candidates. I believe the first time it was three to six or even more candidates, lawyers, non-lawyers from all different parts of the world at all different prices. And you can review their resumes and see their testimonials to actually see them on a recording, to see how they would interact behind a screen. You can hear them speak, what languages they speak, and if they have an accent or not, what their time zone is. And then you can pick if you want an interview with that person. Personally, I like to choose up to 3 candidates to pick an interview with, which I have done each time, and then we set up an interview with them. It happens very quickly, or you can put a wait on it. For one time, I needed somebody within 2 weeks, and Remote Legal Staff got me candidates and set up interviews that same week. And so I started interviewing the candidates. We went through a bunch of questions, found out what their resume was, what their past history was, would they be a good fit? You know, we went through the basic interview questions, and then I was able to make my decision, sign the contract with Remote Legal Staff, and they were ready to work. You pick your start date, and they're ready to go. If you're one of those people who doesn't want to train your staff, or doesn't think that you have the time to train your staff, and you really just want someone to come in and hit the ground running, I would say you need to prioritize training your staff. But also, what comes with Remote Legal Staff, in my experience, has been that, especially with the lawyers or non-lawyers that I have hired, the lawyers, they are legally trained, specifically in a certain practice area. And I ended up hiring one person who was trained in my specific practice area of civil litigation. Yes, it was from another country, might be different laws, but the procedures were quite similar. So even that minimal amount of training that he required to get him familiar with our practices and our laws has paid off tenfold. 1 minute of training has saved me 5-10 hours of heartache on a case where, instead of me having to do all the work, now that I have trained my staff, that person can do it. And even for the non-lawyers, when it comes to administrative tasks, it's not a waste of time to train your staff. They're willing to learn. They want to know how to do a good job. You just have to show them how to do this good job. I have a friend who works in big law who has been through about 5 or 6 assistants because he just continues to refuse to train them. And I'm on the phone with him, and I hear him all the time, "Oh, I'm filing this paperwork because my assistant didn't do it, or my assistant doesn't know how to do it." And at that point, I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, buddy, like, you have to train your staff, or you're going to be running through more assistants. If they don't know how you want it done, then whatever they're going to do, if you don't correct them on that, they're just going to continue to do it that way." unless you show them how to do it. Me personally, I take off one day every 2 weeks, and recently, because I just hired another person, we took one day off this week already, and we just had what we call an administrative day, where I'm on the phone with my entire staff or a Zoom call for the whole day, and we are working together as if we're in the bullpen together. We're picking up phone calls together, we're writing emails together, we're talking to clients together, we're writing documents together, sending them out, sending bills, we're doing everything together. That way we're all communicating with each other and there's uniformity, right? There might be one way that this person likes to send an email, but since it's my firm, there is a way that I like to send an email and to present to my clients, opposing counsels, judges, assistants, whatever it may be. And I prefer uniformity in how we write our emails, how we answer the phone, how we talk to clients. So until they see how I do it and how I like to do it and what I have found is successful, they're going to continue to do it in their own way without this knowledge of, oh, maybe that's not the right way to do it. But it's also beneficial to be open to other aspects of training where you can be trained as well. Some of these people come from backgrounds in different areas of the law, or they have had experience in other industries. So maybe someone has a really developed customer service background. I would take their recommendation on how to deal with clients if they become disgruntled, or how to effectively manage my calendar. I would delegate those tasks to them, and I would say, you know better than me. I'll take your recommendation. I'm open to listening to you. But when it does come down to the legal work, I am the attorney. I know how I like things done, and I know the procedures of how it needs to be done. And I'm the one who does train them. And we try to have administrative days at least once every 2 weeks, and in between the phone calls, in between the emails, we can discuss other cases. I can catch my staff up on what's going on in this matter. I can talk to this one, and we're all in the screen together, and we can all discuss these matters. That way everybody's on the same page. I mean, if we were a hive mind, that would be preferable, but we're not. We're all different people and we all have different preferences. But as long as there's someone at the top coaching us of how to move different things along, and maybe I don't have the best recommendation on how to move it along, and I leave the floor open to my staff to come and make suggestions, which they do. They run it past me. Of course, I have the final say, but in some areas, I will delegate that task or that case because maybe now my case manager and paralegal has a better idea of how to run that case better than me. They might have done some research that I'm not aware of, and I would have to go into my case management software, look up the case report, look up their notes on the research. And now I don't have to spend the time doing that because I know that this person is fully capable because I've seen them do it in these training or administrative days, where now I'm faithful and I trust them on how to act and react to the different scenarios that we come across. So training is definitely crucial. However much time you spend on it, you're going to get back double, triple, quadruple your investment. I trained the staff from RemoteLegalStaff on my own systems and processes. The first person that I hired, I sat down with them. We basically took the first couple days of just me and this candidate running through all my case practices. They saw how I run my caseload, how I answer my emails, how I pick up the phones, how I enter information, how I save documents, and they picked it up no problem. For my case management software, I booked an appointment with the case management software personnel, and we sat in trainings on that extensively, as well as I know I needed the training with it too. So it was beneficial for everybody on the team. Basically, I sat there with them one-on-one, got them trained. They saw how I worked my cases, how I responded to emails, how I took phone calls. They were helpful every step of the way. They asked how I prefer to have things done. And obviously training is an ongoing process, and we work through it at all times as the firm grows. So do the process of how you manage things. So they are open and willing to learn, and they really just want to do a good job, and they want to make you happy, because my success is their success, is my success is the firm's success. Since hiring candidates from Remote Legal Staff, I have noticed efficiencies and improvements with my law firm just for the matter of scaling. So I could only manage a certain amount of clients at a time on my own. And then when I hired someone from Remote Legal Staff, we were able to scale and take on more clients and work more cases. And then it got to the point where I needed to hire even more people because we were growing at such a rapid rate. And that I owe to not only my own hard work, putting in time on these cases, but also the staff that works these cases and speaks with my clients. We get great reviews, and everything has just kept on improving and working up. And it's really helped me to scale my business. A particular instance where I noticed that Remote Legal Staff really came in the clutch was this one time I was in court, and it was just a basic hearing. But during that brief period in court, I had missed 5 consultation phone calls. And now that I have Remote Legal Staff, I have someone there to pick up the phone, talk to the client or potential client, get their intake information, set an appointment on my calendar so that I can actually have a consultation with them and gain their business. That has definitely paid for itself tenfold. Lets me be available to go to court or be working on another project, and I'll know that somebody is here to pick up the phone, manage my calendar, send documents to somebody if I really need it, and really just knowing that someone's there to take the reins while I'm gone. Another instance where Remote Legal Staff has really improved the efficiency in my firm, and one instance in particular was I get sent hundreds, if not thousands, of pages of documents from clients or opposing counsels. And instead of me going through these documents, I can have my hire firm, Remote Legal Staff, go through those documents and write up a report. That saves me time and money, where I could be more efficient working on something else or another project. And it also saves my client a lot of time and money in my legal fees. And also, most recently, another great reference to where Remote Legal Staff really picked up the help where I needed it was I was preparing for a trial, and on that same date, I was called down to another county for a hearing early in the morning, and I was able to communicate with my staff to get everything ready for my trial in another county later in the afternoon. And they were able to gather all the documents, put together the trial paperwork and my trial binder, and get that sent over to a printer store where I was able to pick it up and be ready for my trial when that happened. The smoothness of how we work together, delegating tasks from one person to another, really everything just came together and it worked out great. I ended up going to that trial with no issues. The long-term growth and impact I see on my law firm's growth and success from working and partnering with Remote Legal Staff is simply just scale. My goals are to keep growing my law firm, bringing in more business, and Remote Legal Staff is really giving me the opportunity to do that at an affordable rate with quality candidates, and the type of work that they put out is of the highest standard. I plan to continue using Remote Legal Staff to hire whoever I need whenever I need them, when I am ready for that next step in my law firm. Knowing what I know now, working with Remote Legal Staff in the future wouldn't work out in the aspects of if I need to hire another Florida licensed attorney. I would need somebody to attend hearings and really be on the ground here with me, maybe in court, consulting with clients and offering that actual legal advice, they would need to be licensed and barred in Florida. I have been thinking and developing this thought in my mind that there is a way around this. Some of the lawyer candidates that they provide, they are lawyers in these foreign countries. A way that they can come practice in the States is by signing up for a program. If I or someone were to sponsor them into an LLM program, they can be a foreign trained lawyer and get this LLM degree here in the States, which would qualify them to take the bar exam. If someone were to get on that journey and stick with me for the long run and develop their career, that could possibly be an option. I would, and I have recommended RemoteLegalStaff to other professionals and other lawyers who are in my position starting their law firm. They ask me all the time. They're like, "Hey James, I see that your business is doing well. Where do you get your staff?" And I tell them RemoteLegalStaff, and we talk about it, and I would put them in touch with RemoteLegalStaff in a heartbeat. It's been a quality investment. Like I said before, the work product and the quality is just outstanding. And the price, really, you can't beat it. It really comes down to, do you want to hire someone in the States who might have a degree, but they're not really willing to put in the work that it so requires? Or you can hire someone who's a foreign trained attorney or non-attorney, and you can teach them how you want your staff to operate. And really the best thing that I have found with them is just simply their willingness to want to work. I've had zero complaints, no issues with hours, no issues with language barriers, and it's actually helped, especially in my market in Florida, with the amount of Spanish speaking clients that come across my office. I'm able to utilize the native language of some of these staff members to help me translate and gain their business. If you're in a certain practice area that does require some sort of translation, that's just an added bonus that comes with it. Other than just top quality candidates for a top quality price, there's really no beating it. If you're on the fence about hiring remote legal staff through RemoteLegalStaff, I would 100% recommend you just give it a shot. You've really got nothing to lose. There are zero commitments. You try them out. It becomes a month-to-month basis. For me, it's worked out. I plan on continuing to use the service for as long as I can in the foreseeable future. Getting the candidates the human resources that they provide, where you're also kept out of that whole process. If days off, that you communicate that with RemoteLegalStaff, and you work your approvals that way, which is also another great resource where you are really focusing on managing your firm, and RemoteLegalStaff can kind of come in and manage your staff if necessary. I would definitely recommend it as opposed to hiring locally. One, because hiring somebody locally is much more of a commitment, and also if you hire somebody locally in person, you're probably going to want to require them to come into the office and observe you for training. RemoteLegalStaff gives you the opportunity to do that all from your computer, your home office, or if you have an office, you don't need to expand your office space to include more people in it. It's been working out really great. It's worth the money. It's worth the chance. If you're thinking of going somewhere else, you're wasting your time. This has truly been a great help to me and growing my firm, and my success is definitely owed to the candidates that have come from RemoteLegalStaff.